Welcome back to my channel. Here I'm setting up the SawStop job site Saw Pro, which was given to us by SawStop. We're just getting it unboxed, and I'll run through a couple of the features once it's all set up, and I'll show you me using it and also working out some filler catchers that we use in our workshop quite a lot. So after getting my head around the saw, getting it all set up, I'm going to give it a go for the first time. So one of the main reasons I was happy to do a collaboration with SawStop was this is a job site saw, and I can't see myself taking this out on site. To be honest, we do a lot of our stuff in-house in the workshop, but it's just, we have a big Martin table saw, and we've been, for the last couple of years, we've been contemplating, would it be worthwhile getting another table saw? It's going to be too big, it's going to take up too much space, etc. Because we do quite a few cut lists, and a lot of the time you're in the middle of building something this side of the workshop, and you just need a quick cut, or you need to rip something down, and you're stopping someone that's on the saw from doing their cut list, and they've got their head in the game and they're carrying on, and then they're stopping to have to come off the saw for you to change the settings to do your cut, for them to get back in it, and the rhythm is never the same. So like I said, we've been thinking about something in an average size saw, and I saw this at a couple of the tool shows, DM, tool fairs, etc., and I'm quite impressed with the size of it and how sturdy it was. So I was only happy to help, or to collaborate with them, when they offered to send me out a saw to try out. From just setting it up, feeling it, seeing how solid it is, how easy it is, the smoothness of it, really like the up and down of the blade by literally 2 or 3 turns, to quickly change it to the angles, which I will be doing a bit this week, which will come in super handy, because that's the worst thing when you're cutting angles on the saw. Someone always wants to jump on it to do straight cuts, and you have to change the angles back. I can now wheel this up to my bench, do my angles, because usually the boxes and stuff aren't very big with the angles, the way we construct them nowadays. So this will be absolutely ample. We got a load of rolling tables that we can add to the sides and the front to help with bigger sheets, etc. But today I wanted to, we do a lot of these, we call them filler catchers on our wardrobes, and we just do a simple K20 Lamello biscuit groove, which is 4mm groove. We do it on the spindle molder inside there, and we use K20s to put all our fillers on. It's a Lamello product, but it's not the Tensos or the Clamexes. It's, personally, I find them very good, very strong. You don't need glue. There's great bite on them, and they're a lot cheaper. So that's how we've been doing for the last, 5-6 years. That's how we've been always doing it. So the catchers that I usually make we keep stock. So these are 18mm for 18mm piece that slides in. So these bits would be built up in the workshop. We'd have a strip going down the side of our wardrobe with a groove in it, which would take our filler. We can screw them from the side in the workshop, but when on site and you're 20, 30, 40, 50 mil away from the wall, you can't get the screws into them and you have to hold them flush, etc. You could put it behind the hinge, absolutely, and we do that. But the idea of these blocks is to stop. So once they're built in the workshop with the groove and we're happy with them, then we attach these blocks to the sides of our units on the outer top sides. And then when they get removed, these stay put. The idea then is when you go to site, you slide in your strip, which has got the groove, and it has a stop. Sometimes you don't even need to put a screw behind the hinge because these are nice and snug and tight. So what we do is we add a little 45-degree angle for the leading edge into it. So these are our kind of standards, our MDF sprayed units and stuff like that. But the odd time we do understairs wine storages. We've got a walnut job on the go. That's 19 mil. So every now and then it's worth having a couple of selection of 19 mil rather than the 18 mil on the back, just to give you that extra mil. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to do a couple of them, give it a go, and see how we get on. So, like I said, these are the blocks I want to be making. So first things, I'm going to make the base. But like I said, it's going to be out to 19 mil. So first I'm going to double check my measurements. So they're 80 by 80. We don't need to worry about that 80 yet because we'll rip them down once they're glued. So first things first, when you set this to 80, which is super smooth, we got a little glass screen here to be able to eye it up. Simple as that. That's locked at 80. I have double checked it, so it is very accurate. Ear finders in, and then next thing is to a bit of walnut. I've got two extractors on. We got the one on the auto start at the bottom, and then the second one for the top dust. So I'm going to turn that on manually. There's a system to turning it on. It explains it very well. It took me a couple of seconds to figure it out. You just have to wait for the red light to stop flashing. That's just telling you everything's in working order. So after cutting that one down to 80, you realise that the extraction hose was catching it on the end. Learning curve. So what I've done is I've just adjusted it to the side. I may make a little stand piece of wood with an arm that holds the extraction hose. A lot of the lads that are people that have used this on the trades, on the videos, have only used the bottom extraction for the dust falling down because they're working outside. So we're mostly going to be using it indoors. So I would like to still have the extraction on the top. Also, that will keep the glass within reason quite clean. So the next step now is to do the 45 on the wider 9 mil strip on the top. So I'm going to set that up. So I need to set it to 45. It's as simple as clicking this lever and sliding it. 45. 45 there. So we're going to be cutting it on that angle, and this is the piece that we're cutting next. So this is set at 150. So we're going to set that to 150 to within a mil. These aren't just have to be 100%, but it's working fine. So again, the process of the switch should be just lifted up now that the green light's on. All good to go. Okay, next step is to use something like Microbond CT1. Super fast is what we're using now. So we're going to put a little bit up and down on the veneer. Once that's done, we've got our miter. We want our miter facing in. Little spray. We're going to line it up to the back. Flush on either end and pressure. Simple as that. One thing I do like to do is, let me grab some sandpaper. So I always like to take the miter peak off just to soften it so no one cuts themselves. So now we've got our 19mm. That will help for 19mm fillers on, like I said, the oak understairs or the current walnut job we're doing at the moment. So the next stage is back on the saw, and we're going to cut these to the whatever the measurement is on the blocks that I have down there. So the width of these are 80. So again, we're going to set it to 80. And we need to knock that back to 0. It's as simple as click and slide. So fast, no winding, no messing. So now we've got 80. So extraction again. And motor on. We're just going to slice. And easy as that, we can pick up our blocks. Probably could have had a bucket at the end. That could have been a bit easier. But so we've got our blocks. And lastly, just need to drill 2 countersinks. So we've got our 18 mils on this side, and I'm going to stack my 19 mils on this side. And it's just easy to grab and go when needed. Yeah, and let me just quickly show you how they work again. So this is our small spindle molder. This is set up for the grooving that I was saying. So we'll get the extraction on, turn it on. Simple as that. Okay, it's a 4mm groove ready for attaching to our end of our cupboards. So this is our groove piece. So if you can imagine, don't worry about these little holes, that's just where I was drilling into. I just want to give you an example. So if you can imagine, this is edge banded and this is the side of our wardrobe against the wall or the ceiling. What we would normally do is we would put that on flush to the front and then just stick in a 30 when it's built in the workshop. Dead flush, we can get to the side so it's easy to do. So that's now flush to the sides, and we call that our filler catcher. Then we would have 25mm fillers. Reason for that is most of our slab doors are 22 and our shaker styles are 22, 21mm. So that leaves us 3mm for a bump stop or rubber nipple or whatever you call them. So we would just have our biscuiter set to the edge of that, run it along, and then that would go on with our K20s. So now that would create our filler. Self-explanatory. So that's just a filler. But the reason I want to show you that is why we use these blocks. So before we take down the wardrobe and we take off the sides and stuff, because sometimes the plinths are set back and you need to spray these edges, is then these would get attached. So I think it's 40. Yeah, 40 mil screws. Don't make the mistake that my apprentices and people make, covering the screw that you just put in, because you need to have access to that. So just down from it, in, out, done. Keeping it nice and pushed against the back. Nice and tight. Then when it comes to taking your units down, remove your 30s. Panel comes out. That can go up and be sprayed for the plinth set back, so that's covered. Then when it comes to sight, these are already attached to your unit. Also the holes where you put the screws in kind of tell you which side, well, sprayed would be on one side, but it's another indication to show which side faces out. Slides on. Just cut it roughly to the height of the ceiling. You only see it at the bottom. That locks it in, and like I said, it holds it there. And then when you have your hinges going down, you can fix your side panel. So something very simple. Little blocks work really well. But I wanted to show you how easy it was to use the saw. Perfect little fill-in job for apprentices. If someone's on the saw and you need to just run out loads of little things. But like I said, I'll give a bit more of a review on this as we use it a bit more. I've just set it up today, but already I can see so many uses for it in our workshop and filling in time when we're waiting to get on the saw. So, and none of that's even saying about the real reason of the saw as well is the device for if you're any bit of flesh or skin or anything touches the blade, traps it, pulls it down. That's obvious from all the videos you can see on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, etc. But that's a bonus. That's just putting your mind at ease if you have apprentices or people that are not too sure, a bit wary on saws. It's a great type of machine to get them to build up the confidence. And the one thing I did love about the device is if it actually does like save you from losing a digit or a finger or whatever, they can tell if you send the device that's caught the blade back to them. They can actually tell from the whatever software is in it or how it works that if it actually saved losing, it was actually a pure accident. They'll replace the contraption that pulls the blade down free of charge, which is amazing to think. Not that you would want to try it out, but to know that you could have a lifetime supply of free cartridges protecting you, rather than someone that just goes to touch the side of the blade to see if it works. They can also tell that it was not. It was intentional that you did that. So that's when you would have to pay. But I think they're like 79, 80 quid a cartridge. But the saw itself is on its own up there with the best. And I like the size and I like how easy it is to fold up and move it around the workshop to wherever you're working and stick it in a corner out of the way when it's not being used. So overall, really impressed with SawStop, and give it a go. And there's a promotion on at the moment, I think, till the 18th of May. If you're someone like near, use Elson's Tools, DM Tools, etc., they're giving away some freebies with them, the smaller saw and the bigger saw. So check out any promotions that are on at the moment. And yeah, looking forward to letting the guys have a play with it next week. Have a good day all.